Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is your fellow food forester, Mason. I hope you're all doing great today. I wanted to talk to you about a very important topic since a lot of people struggle from this, and I don't hear enough people talking about that, not on YouTube, not on Facebook posts, or any place where people discuss fruit trees and plants in general. Today I'm going to talk about specifically fruit trees, but this topic, this principle of mine, it's my little secret, uh, it concerns every plant out there, and you can apply it. And once you understand it, and you kind of experiment with it and see the results, you could use it on any plant. But today specifically, I'm going to talk to you about fruit trees, and the reason why is because I am a fruit tree lover, and I directed the majority of my experience towards fruit trees, and I have so many of them. So I wanted to share with you my perspective on this one specific principle. And I don't want to make this video too long. I want to get right into the topic. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so today I'm going to do something that's a little bit different. I'm going to do a little bit of multitasking for you, and go around and show you some of my trees and some of the developing fruit that I've got going on here in this boxed up tropical forest of mine. And talk to you about that principle, talk to you about that little secret of mine when it comes to growing fruit trees. And that secret is plant energy levels and plant energy conservation. Not the most exciting topic to talk about because it's complicated. It is simple in principle. It's complicated in explaining. It's complicated in sometimes detection, and sometimes it hurts to fix such a massive issue when it comes to fruit trees. And fruit trees are what we're going to be talking about today, but this applies to all plants. But let me go ahead and show you a little example I've got going on in the back. So what you're seeing in front of you right here is my Miwa kumquat. I made a video about this one not so long ago. I think maybe a week ago, maybe a little bit more than that. Please go back and look at that video so you can understand some of the effects that I was noticing, and why I needed to do what I've done on this. But I've removed the plant. That kind of looked like this, but with less foliage, and just like this, and it had some fruit on it. So I plucked the fruit. They were ready to be plucked, and I completely cut off everything above where the plant has started growing a very nice, healthy, fruit producing branch from the bottom. Everything about that, it had cracks. It wasn't grown in a healthy condition. That's because most of these plants, they get to sit in very little pots for a very long time, for years. When it comes to when they're at the nursery, these nurseries, they have so many plants, they can't take care of everything in an optimal way. So a lot of them are root bound, and almost like every single plant I bought from the nursery is root bound, right? And so it's most likely going to be the case for you too. So the plant has been grown in a little pot, it's root bound, it's energy deficient, it's been chemicalized to death. So there's a lot of things that are going against it. This is another situation that recently I acquired this white pomelo, and it had a very similar structure like this, but I removed all those branches. I cut all of those branches. There, some of them were dying back, some of them weren't doing the best, and this one right here, you see, it's not doing the best either right here. So this one needs to go too, and I should only keep the other ones because the other ones have produced more and the other ones look healthier, right? So you got to listen to the plant a little bit sometimes. But look at the situation. One of the signs is like smaller leaves. This has nothing to do with nutrients. This has nothing to do with watering. This when you see smaller leaves, it means there are some energy problems going on there. There's something wrong with the plant. And when you look at it in its totality, I removed every single flower. I removed every single leaf, and I let the plant kind of come back and recover. And look at it. It produced these smaller leaves because it had very, very little energy. And then when it got to the edges, Do you see? The leaves starting getting super big. Look at the size of the leaves. Look at the difference. Okay, this is a fantastic sign of recovery. Now this plant right here, I'm not going to allow it to fruit and flower at all. I might allow couple of flowers, just like this Meyer lemon here. Very comparable situation. I let them flower because I love the scent. I have a problem with scents. I'm addicted to their scent. It's fantastic. It's I don't know. It's like it heals me. It heals my soul a little bit, especially like citrus. Something about it. It's I don't know, it's a weakness of mine. So sometimes I let the flowers just to smell them and then remove them. So you got this white pomelo here. You got this white pomelo. You got this Meyer lemon that's going to go through the same process, and you got this Shiranui mandarin that's also flowering, you know, but it's struggling. They're all struggling. Maybe, you know, a lot of you, especially beginners, would look at this and say, oh, I don't see anything wrong, right? It's like the signs that I'm seeing is kind of different than the signs and the overall shape and the health of the plant that you're seeing, especially as a beginner. This is a white pomelo, for an example, right? And this makes massive fruit and it has massive leaves. So in the beginning, when I saw some of the leaves kind of yellowing like this, you know, and they're small leaves, right, and some branches dying back completely, that's like a very, very fundamental sign that this plant is not healthy. It doesn't have enough energy. It's not ready for production. Don't do it, right? So until I see leaves like this all over, and until I see the trunk thickening and getting to the point where it's like something like this, even maybe, you know, I just can't allow these plants to fruit. I can't allow these plants to produce, because that's going to destroy their energy levels. And once you deplete a plant's energy levels, the plant will get attacked. The plant might suffer all kinds of wood issues like cracking, and even, you know, dieback, and sometimes even complete like a fatal condition, you know, where it just dies, you know. And sometimes people don't know, why did my plant die? Well, it got attacked by fungus. The roots rotted. One of the reasons why the roots rot is because the plant doesn't have an ability to defend itself in the soil against fungus, against bacteria, against whatever is eating it, right? So when the plant's energy levels are high, the plant is producing all kinds of chemicals, all kinds of things. And you can look this up. This is all scientific. Even though science hasn't fully understood and explained everything, it is still very, very scientific. It is still very true that the plant that has the proper amount of energy, the proper energy conservation, will resist pest. It will resist fungus. It will resist extreme, like even drought, and resist extra moisture in the soil, and resist even freezing conditions. Now, I just recently made a video about my citrus outside, and they gone through 22 degrees Fahrenheit, freezing for a few hours. And, you know, a lot of people are commenting about, you know, them doing very well, and it's kind of it's impressive, and it's good to see, you know, the citrus trees are doing well, and kind of they're not doing well for no reason, because I kind of followed those principles. I've allowed them a lot of nutrients and took care of them, and I watered and I mulched and I pruned, and I considered, like, you know, the foliage and how each branch and, you know, each all these leaf clusters have to get sun, and the ones that are hitting in the back, like, oh, that's all suboptimal. No, those are producing very little energy and taking a lot more. So I've considered all these conditions, but it's all revolving around the plant's energy levels. So anyways, man, there's so much to go and talk about this. There's so much to talk about. But I'm gonna, for the sake of keeping the video short, I'm gonna only discuss like newly bought plants and what you can do about them, right? Like fruit trees specifically. Just like I've showed you with that one specific Miwa kumquat I got there. That's what I recommend for you, okay? If the plant is trying to grow from a certain place, right, then follow the plant lead, like follow this tree's lead, right? So it's telling you this is where I want to grow from. That's usually when you find these signs, like all yellowing leaves, smaller leaves, dying, but branches dying back, flimsy branches, right? Just watch that video. I explained it to you on there. And that specific example, it works really well, especially with citrus. You know what I'm talking to you about here today is very well explained in that video. But those are the signs. Those are some of the signs. And another sign that I've noticed actually is profusely like the trees profusely flowering, trying to produce. And the reason why this is some sort of like survival mechanism, is trying to produce the offspring, is trying to produce the fruit that has the seeds, so it can guarantee the survival of this of their species. So profuse flowering in the presence of smaller leaves, dying back branches, flimsiness, thin leaves. Another telltale sign is probably branching from a lower point. That's also one of those signs. All indicators that you need to watch what you're doing with this plant and give this plant time and the proper pruning and the proper conditions for the plant to recover its energy levels and then restart again, and then just watch the differences. I'll talk to you about, I'll make another video in the future and show you how this pomelo recovers from its trauma. But you can also already see what's going on. Now the weather has been kind of cold, and sometimes it's warm, sometimes it's cold. It's up and down here in Southeast Texas. But when the time comes and the weather stays warm, you'll notice the branching, you'll notice the size of the leaves changing, everything, just so many different indicators for health and energy recovery. So what can you do? Like I said, just prune. You can prune and like leave a certain structure, the structure that came with the plant. But I've noticed that the majority of the time this wood right here isn't the healthiest, but there are signs for that. And I'm talking about if these branches are flimsy, if these branches are dying back, that's a good sign that this wood is no good and you need to remove it and start over. But if the wood is nice and green and healthy like this, sometimes I decide to leave it and not go too extreme with the pruning, right? Because it's not showing, all those effects of energy depletion, as far as the wood up here. But I guarantee you, if I cut it from here and let it do its thing and let it come up again, it would be so much better for this plant in general. But doing what I'm doing here isn't as bad. It's not that horrible. The only thing that I'm going to have to do is not allow any flowering or fruiting for at least a year, or sometimes even 2 years, right? And then collect the profit on my investment there. So, kind of, that's me talking about like the early stages when you buy a fruit tree. And this principle that I'm talking to you about is kind of an ancient principle. It's kind of it's like ancient wisdom. It should come to you naturally. It should come to you logically. You can't constantly from your plant. You can't constantly take from your plant and not give back. One of the form of giving back is thinning. You have to thin the fruit. Like, these smaller fruit. I don't want this. I'm going to thin it. I'm going to take care of this. Get rid of that. This situation here, I'm going to get rid of this one right here. Look at that. I don't want this. I don't want this one. What am I supposed to do with this one? The plant is kind of showing you where the energy's already been distributed to. Like, look at this. Like, you know what I mean? It's already showing you. Just listen. Just watch, pay attention, and listen. That's all we have to do. And we will succeed. I noticed the plant doing that already sometimes. I didn't pluck all those myself. The plant done that. So, sometimes I'll go around and I help it. Like, look at that one right there. See, like, it's even, like, it's just not doing well. It's just, I got so many large developing fruit. I don't need these little ones to kind of come up just to suck a little bit of energy, a little bit of nutrients and water and sugar, and then fall by default because the plant can't hold on to everything. So you might as well go ahead and just watch and listen. Like, the plant is already telling you what's healthy, it looks healthy, and you just go with that. Now, there's another, obviously you have to provide the plant with compost and all of its needs in the ground and kind of help it out above ground as far as sometimes these excessive pest pressure. But outside of that, thinning really does help a lot. Debranching sometimes helps a lot. Let the plant, like I'm gonna do so much like structuring for this one specifically next season, because I cannot go anywhere else, right? So I'll have to do some pruning, and I'll have to consider where the next branches are gonna go and how they're gonna be collecting sunlight. And that's one of those situations where after you had your trees fully grown and start producing, you have to consider the next and the next and the next step. You can't just constantly expect your tree to do things right. So sometimes, like a little child, you have to teach them, you have to direct them in a certain direction. And especially in my situation, because I'm growing them in this very confined place, everything has to be considered. But if you're like in Florida, if you're like in somewhere tropical and you have all these tropical fruit trees, it's like maybe you can care less about that, and you kind of let them grow on their own and do their thing. But for me, I have to be more kind of dedicated and observe and take actions more often. So I hope I delivered some benefit. Some I know it's hard for me sometimes to talk to you about specific topics, because it's just the type of mind that I have. My mind is scattered a lot of times, and I think about 150 different things at the same time. I'm trying to fix that. It's one of those situations. It's one of those things that I have to improve on in life, and I have to overcome. I'm very dispersed in the head. A lot of times I think about a lot of things at the same time, but I'm trying. So I want to do things in steps. I want to do things in different stages, and I hope that I'm delivering to you this content here that I think is beneficial. But I don't know. I need your advice. I need you to comment and let me know exactly if this topic specifically. This is a very, very important topic, but if this topic wasn't delivered by me in the way that I intended it to be delivered, and you didn't understand it well, then I need to reconsider myself, because I'm kind of one of those things. I'm fixing about my life is just I'm trying to consider people's ability to understand me, not just me saying something that I think is understandable and it's going to be useful, and only to end up not working so well. So I need your comments. Please comment down below and let me know if I'm doing a good job explaining. And I know I'm forgetting a whole bunch of details. I know that. So just ask anything you have. Ask, tell me what's going on here, what's going on there. Give me your input, and I can be able to interact with you and answer and help, and also make some micro adjustments in my head and kind of improve. That's what I love to do in life. So anyways, I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope I benefit you here today, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.